What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the Weekly Debrief presented by Black Ambition Media. I'm Cayman here with Xavier and Dom, and every week we're bringing you thoughtful conversations on the stories shaping our communities, our culture, and our world. From politics and current events to sports, music, business, and everything in between, this is a space where we don't just react to the headlines. We break them down, ask tough questions, and have real conversations. Before we get started, make sure you hit that like button, subscribe to Black Ambition Media, and turn on your notifications so you never miss an episode. We also want to hear from you. So drop your thoughts in the comments. We read them, we appreciate them, and they help us shape future conversations. And all that nice spill was good, guys, but to me, this is me hanging out with my friends, catching up on some of the topics in the culture that are heavy throughout the week. I think this is going to be a lovely show going forward. How y'all feeling today?
I'm feeling good. I'm feeling really good. It's
Feeling
Wednesday.
good.
I'm still black. It's a good
Amen.
day.
Right.
Hey, it's always a good day when you still black.
Always.
I want to ask you guys, now that we're starting, we did call this the week.
Wait, unfortunately, I think we got to talk about it. Have we all seen the recent photos of Serena Williams?
Yes, we will get to that. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness.
I
We
love
got
her.
to stop.
I love her.
People
So
are
you ain't-
addressing all the wrong things about that photo, but there's an elephant in that room with us now.
Yes.
There's an elephant in that room with us now. We got to address it.
Yeah, we're gonna get to that. Let me ask you guys something first. We are just starting this show out. What does culture and kind of talking about some of the things that we will cover on this show, what does it mean to you personally? What is covering these things, talking about them, and where you want to see the culture progress as Black people specifically? What are you guys kind of feeling on that question?
Oh, our culture?
Yes. What do you feel? What do you see? What do you think we represent? And your voice, especially on some of these topics that we will cover on this show on a weekly basis. Where do you fit into all that as well?
Well, for one, just as a black social media commentator, or I guess that's what I call myself. I don't know. I feel like our opinion definitely matters. We drive a lot of things, and not just on social media, but in everyday facets of life. Of course, music, culture, art, fashion. I mean, so if our opinion is not out there on the matter, does it really matter? So yeah, I think having a black voice comment on anything in popular culture, social culture is necessary, is needed.
I completely agree with Dom as well. I feel like the Black voice will always be, if nothing but a spectacle, will always be an important aspect of not only Black culture, but American culture, since we have been the blueprints to many things that we consume on a daily basis, and don't even attribute it to just Black people anymore. It's just regular things. Anything from Jordans to certain foods that we eat, certain music that we listen to. Um, like Dom said, with certain power comes certain responsibility, and not to say that every nigga with a microphone's opinion matters. There's comes a level of discernment when you're listening to people. You gotta really recognize what you can and cannot take from certain people. So just giving out my perspective, my view on certain things, and hopefully there's apparently a couple of people and our subscribers that rock with us. So always a big shout out to them.
Right. I really want to aim heavy on that comment. Let us know what you guys are thinking, because we are bouncing ideas off of you guys. We want to hear the conversations that you guys want to hear, and we want to talk about some of those conversations within the culture. Where you guys want to start tonight on the first day? We all have some topics to present to the audience. Where would you guys like to start? We could pick a person too. We could go with Dom's topics. We can go with my topics. I can start us out. Let me know what y'all want to do.
Well, if you don't mind, I'd like to just go ahead and hop out there because it is a bit of sad news. So we just want to get that out of the way.
Okay,
Not to
great.
not to rush out of the way. Maybe we should lead with that and then head into some lighter topics. Actress Kaylee Hoddle passed away yesterday morning in a tragic car accident. If you guys don't know her, she was the actress from the Godzilla versus Kong movies and the Godzilla X Empire movie. She played the mystic little girl Mystic Gia, who was connected with both Kong and Godzilla. Her passing is really tragic in Hollywood. One, because I meant she was just a young soul in general, actress or not. And then two, she was a real groundbreaker in Hollywood. It was a one vehicle automobile accident. The driver was a 19-year-old male, I believe, and he survived, and she was the only one that did pass away in that accident. So again, I want to touch on that because she was a deaf, disabled actress in Hollywood, and you do not see that in movies, that level of representation for deaf people. So just a shout out to her and rest in peace to that young actress there. We did. I was a fan of those movies. I don't know if you guys have seen those
Oh,
movies?
100%. Of course.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Love those movies. She had a budding career popping up. So anytime something like that happens, it's just a real tragedy. But rest in peace to her and condolences to her family.
Rest in peace. Definitely. Next topic. Y'all ready? Next topic.
Yes, sir. What we got? I have
I
another one,
say,
but I thought
yeah, I
are we
say,
gonna
Dom, just rock it out. Let's see what you got. You got to bring
knock
us.
him out? Okay.
You got
Okay.
to bring us
Let's do it.
back to the
Okay,
light.
so
Yes.
this is political news, so I don't know if y'all want to head straight.
Let's do it.
straight into
Let's
it.
do it. We're gonna
Okay.
hit straight.
So this one comes out of, now y'all know how I am about my politics, okay? This one comes out of Washington Today. Let me read you this a little bit. Okay, so the Trump administration has formally submitted a new a new 30-year nuclear cooperation agreement with Saudi Arabia to Congress. The deal would allow U.S. companies to help Saudi Arabia develop its civilian nuclear program, but one of the biggest sticking points is that the agreement would allow Saudi Arabia to enrich uranium, a previous provision that previous U.S. administrations, you know who, was reluctant to accept because of nuclear proliferation concerns. Of course, supporters are going to say that Saudi Arabia is a critical ally. If we don't get to them first, Russia or China might. And civilian nuclear power can help Saudi Arabia diversify their energy economy. Obviously, people are going to say uranium enrichment technology it could be a potential crisis to the U.S. And lawmakers, Democrats and Republicans, are now calling for hearings and closer congressional security on those agreements because, okay, first of all, I just want to ask this. Should Saudi Arabia trust, or should America trust Saudi Arabia with uranium enrichment technology? I want to point that question towards Xavier. I meant oh, sorry, go ahead.
I mean, at this point, I believe every country, every major power, every developed nation or developing nation should have a nuclear weapon. We know trigger happy United States. We like to go around and tell people, no, you're not allowed to protect yourself. You're not allowed to have nuclear weapons because we view everybody as a threat. But who is the only nation to ever actually use a nuclear weapon? That would be the United States. So I don't feel like we have the moral high ground to go tell anybody what they can or cannot do. Now, the United States backing Saudi Arabia with this program is questionable with them being our ally in their kind of place in the Middle East with the other wars and discrepancies that we have going on in that area right now. We know exactly what type of time we're on, especially when you mentioned that there's other sitting presidents who were not in favor of that trajectory.
More stringent about it. Yeah.
Yes, but it just goes to show again that nuclear weapons are never the problem. It's just who we want to have the nuclear weapons, because the whole quote unquote reason we were supposed to be in this conflict with Iran is about nuclear weapons. But now we want to go ahead and aid Saudi Arabia in the development, enrichment of nuclear
Why it
weapons.
makes no sense. And then this current administration is kind of just doing what they want. Pete Hegseth, Secretary of War, Secretary of Defense, was on Capitol Hill yesterday arguing with both Democrats and Republicans on why we should give them another 1.5, almost $1 trillion. It makes no sense to me. The American people, first of all, this war that we're in with Iran is we weren't supposed to. There were supposed to be no new wars. That's what the administration. That's what Trump campaigned on. So I meant partnering with Saudi Arabia, to me, and allowing them to pretty much develop nukes just makes no sense to me, especially since, again, like you were saying, we were trying to stop other nations from doing so. As far as the moral high ground, and I'm probably saying this because I live in the United States, I mean, if we can prevent other countries from having them, if we feel like we shouldn't, maybe we should. And I'm only saying this under normal circumstances. I feel like the U.S. obviously would show constraint on using nukes. I don't think we've used them since World War II.
We used it
So
twice though.
for who? Japan, right?
Yeah, but I'm saying we used it 2 times, and we're the
Yeah,
only people that used it. If
we
anybody
did.
shouldn't have nuclear weapons, it should be the United States.
That is very true.
We should lose that privilege to be
They
used it 2
they
times
were.
already. OD.
I would deem both times necessary.
And we used it to prove a point.
Yes.
The war was over. The message was sent, but we wanted to send a further
So
message
that we
like
had the power.
we have the power. You don't mess with us. And primarily, the people affected were civilians. We are not
very
very
true.
nice people. We don't have no type of moral compass to go around telling people you can't have nuclear weapons, you can't have this, you can't have that. We honestly just need to shut the fuck up sometimes.
And we have to remember, Xavier. We have to remember, the United States wanted, like you said, proving a point. Hey, you guys attacked us on our ground. We're going to make a statement against you guys that this is not what you do with us. When I think about this topic primarily, I just think about this administration currently and who's making decisions as far as foreign affairs. Donald Trump's foreign policy and the things that we've seen him do throughout his time as president, what makes anybody confident about any decision that this man has made? They have been sporadic, to say the least. As you guys have mentioned, the conflict and war in Iran has been a complete shit show from Donald Trump. Donald Trump and his other white counterparts that he chose to put in places of position and power that don't have the credentials. Pete Hegseth, that you mentioned already, Dom, don't have the credentials to be be in the positions that they're supposed to be in.
Absolutely.
This is, again, a white takeover and a bitch fit, or what do babies do when they fucking cry? Hissy fits, yes, from white America saying, hey, it doesn't matter what type of white man it is, they deserve to be in positions over anybody else. And I don't care if you have the qualifications or if you don't have the qualifications, you deserve to be in those certain positions. And when I think about foreign policy, when I'm thinking about foreign affairs, and I think Donald Trump is the decision maker to some of these things, it's scary to say the least with any foreign relations that we talk about in the United States of America right now. Not even talking about the facts that Xavier's talking about as far as what the United States has been in their history with the world. Like, that's a separate point to what this mediocre administration is doing on a day-to-day basis to destroy our names and our reputation as America. Like, we did have a certain perception about us. Now we don't have none of that because we have an idiot in the White House, an old white idiot. So it's two things. It's two things at the same time. Very, very interesting, the world we're living in 2026 right now.
to your point really quick, I do kind of feel like this is the blowback that the administration is getting and the discontent that the people are feeling should go hand in hand. You remember we did away with DEI, but then we just threw these people in the White House. So I don't want to digress, but I meant this war unwanted, the administration unwanted. Okay, you put this in the White House. He fed you what you wanted to hear, the people that voted for him, and this is what you get when you don't vote for competency. I'm sorry. So yeah, this war again, like you said, is a shit show. We apparently, according to Pete Hegseth and Trump, it's been won over God knows how many times. We've executed our obligations 100%. We've hit all of our goals 100%. I don't know how many times, how many months ago, and we're still going. So, yeah, this is just another, I think,
And I
blunder
believe,
in
just
the.
to add, I believe that the Strait of Hormuz is blocked again as of now.
It is blocked.
Um,
It is blocked.
so back to square one.
What has he
Yep.
done? What he ain't did nothing. This has been a complete and utter, and it's so crazy because we were talking about this, Xavier, yesterday. Republicans don't have to answer questions. Republicans don't answer questions. So we're going to talk about a little bit later, not even later, probably the next topic about this Mamdani speech that he just presented. But what do Republicans even say, Dom, about what's going on right now? Like, this war did absolutely nothing, and the proof is
I
in the
mean,
pudding.
it achieved nothing. I don't think it was meant to actually go anywhere. I, I don't see the point. I think obviously Trump he was led on. He was goaded into this war, and now there's no off ramp. He can't get off. He can't get out. Um, them trying to I don't know if you heard about them trying to charge for safe passaging in the Strait of Hormuz also, and of course that has debilitated our relationship further with other nations because we aren't supposed to charge for safe passage. We're supposed to cover each other. And the administration is just grifting how they grift. So it's I don't really see how it's going to end. I mean, I'm not a war general. I'm not a qualified person who should be running this thing. Yeah, I don't see an off ramp. I don't know how, unless it's just surrender to Iran.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
which is what they kind of, that's what the peace agreement was for a little bit, that didn't last nearly as it was supposed to be done for. So I meant it was the gosh, I'm blanking right now. Yeah, but we were in agreement. That agreement was muddled, and now we're back to square one.
definitely back to square one. Um, no reason Donald Trump do better, but he won't do better, and we know why he's really in office. Um, reaction, Dom, to Mamdani's speech. I'm gonna play it just in a little bit, but I want your initial reaction. Xavier is back. So you know what? Let me play it right now. I'm going to share. Give me 1 second.
Benjamin Netanyahu is a war criminal, the architect of a horrific genocide against the Palestinian people. He is responsible for the killing of more than 73,000, for the maiming of tens of thousands of children, as those who survive undergo amputation without anesthesia, for the targeting of neonatal hospitals and maternity care centers, denying newborns even the chance to live, for the countless people he starved as he blocked food and humanitarian aid from reaching them, for the gunning down of hundreds of aid workers and journalists. And just last month, the UN confirmed that Palestinian children continue to be deliberately targeted and killed by Israeli armed forces, more than 8 months after the so-called ceasefire. The list goes on and on, all as we, as Americans, pay for the bombs that do the killing. There is a reason the International Criminal Court issued a warrant for his arrest. As human beings, we have spent generations building a shared understanding that there are crimes so grave they offend all of humanity. Anyone with their eyes, with their heart, with their conscience should recognize the devastation he has wrought and understand that he belongs before a court of law. As I've said, I agree with the ICC that Benjamin Netanyahu should be arrested and tried for his crimes, as I do for anyone else charged by the ICC. My administration has reviewed every avenue available under applicable law to determine whether New York City could execute the International Criminal Court's arrest warrant if Benjamin Netanyahu came here. It is clear that we do not have the independent legal authority to enforce this warrant. The federal government, however, does, and I call on them to join the ICC and execute this warrant. And I want to be equally clear. Benjamin Netanyahu is not welcome in New York City, nor is any other war criminal at large. While we cannot end the genocide on our own, we can decide whether our silence will become another weapon, and we can examine every tool we have to defend the humanity and dignity of all people. That is my commitment to you.
What a statement from a mayor of a city. I don't think that we see things like this at all. And for him to, on the world stage with 71.4 million people watching just on Twitter alone, he has the world in his hand because he is actually fighting for the people. We'll talk about this a little bit later with this Jay-Z topic. Who has our best interest in heart when it comes to people that are celebrities, when it comes to people that are actually in positions of power? He's doing everything he needs to do. What a flawless and political way to say the things that need to be said. Great for politics in this era, but how do you fight against the Republicans? I don't know. That don't play by rules at all, that don't answer questions, that deflect every single damn time you say anything to them. What did you guys think about this speech from Mamdani, the mayor of New York, who flawlessly is doing everything he needs to do? That man was up there rapping Jay-Z at the Knicks championship, like he doing everything right. But this right here is exactly what we need from our politicians. What did y'all think about that speech?
I think the speech was perfect. Every time I see Mamdani, I'm like, I want one of them. Can we send one of those over to the West Coast a little bit? I like one of those. Can I meet me a Democratic Socialist? I like to meet one. But again, I have my certain nitpicky issues with certain things said in the speech, but overall, I think the message is very clear. Netanyahu is not welcomed in New York City, and if it was up to Mamdani, if he would arrest him on the spot. He did put the ball in the court of the feds by saying they are the ones that do have that leeway, that leverage, even going as far to say they have the responsibility to do so, seeing how much money we fund them with for their military as well. Netanyahu has been invited to the United States since he has been declared a war criminal by the international courts, and we see he has not been arrested. Part of my only issue with that speech is that he still puts that onus on the federal government as if they're going to arrest their best friend. I just don't
Xavier,
see
he
that.
has to.
I know he has to. But again, I feel like that just goes back to the Democrats just are too nice, dude. Like, we're really just a bunch of hall monitors who happen to also like bomb children every now and again. Like, but we're just these hall monitors who want to follow the rules and quote unquote do the right thing. And I don't see that working. At least I don't see that chipping away at the bulk of the nonsense we have to deal with Republicans don't even look or care about our rule book. They just do what they want to do and they deal with the consequences if the consequences come. I would love if Netanyahu came to New York and Mamdani actually had his ass arrested. Even if he had to let him go, I would love him showing that force like, no, if you come over in my state, in my area, you have to deal with me. That is something a Republican would do, hands down. I don't agree with a Republican on 97 million takes 97,000% of anything and everything that they say, but they do some things. They get the job done, whether good or bad. They get their job done. we are dealing with the consequences of complacency from the Democratic Party. And I feel like now that we are able to see the Mamdani success project with New York, hopefully we're able to adopt that in bigger places, better places, not better places, but just big in bigger and better ways throughout the nation, and just not just leave it all. New York can't have all the fun. Spread the love.
Touche.
I think Mamdani is I think what he said was 100% on. Again, Netanyahu is a war criminal. And we do have to recognize that Mamdani's power as mayor of New York, though great, is limited against world leaders. Man, I don't know. I wish we had more Mamdanis like him. Xavier, to your point, if we did have more Mamdani-esque political leaders, I don't think the opposition from the GOP would be so strong right now. And they get stuff done because it's illegal. Most of the time, a lot of times, I want to say over about 70% of the time, the things that the Republicans do are challenged in court and either struck down by a judge or they're stayed until something can be more of a permanent fix. So I mean, if the Democrats really wanted to play hardball, they'd have to step outside of the box and maybe bend some rules, bend some laws that could probably be fought against. And we don't really have the time to do that. Mamdani is a man of the people. So I think putting that on the FBI, we know it's Trump's FBI. We know who's running. We know Kash Patel is his guy. But if he puts the hot potato in their hand, it only takes one view of that video for the American people to be like, okay, so what's the Trump administration going to do? And of course, they're not going to do anything, but we're looking at them as the ones to do something. The Mamdani said, you guys got to do it. Like, and I think by now we know if he could do something, he would. He is a man of action also. So, I thought the speech was great. I don't think he didn't do it without a purpose. There was a reason he did that video. I mean, somebody's going to see that video and it's going to resonate with somebody. And again, most of the things that the Trump administration is doing right now, nobody agrees with. So, I mean,
A
go ahead.
translation. If Mondami, if Netanyahu is in my hood, if Netanyahu is in my hood, nigga, there's gonna be problems.
Exactly.
That was political translation of what this man said, and you hit the nail right on the head, Dom. I'm putting the ball in the court of the people that are supposed to do something about this situation. I'm telling y'all right now that it's wrong. I'm telling you right now that me and the ICC both said that this man is a war criminal and he deserves to be he deserves to be arrested at the end of the day. Now, what are y'all gonna do about it? The people that are supposed to do something about it, what are y'all gonna do this? Yes, this is Trump's administration, yes. But are y'all gonna stand on the right thing? Or are y'all gonna continue to stand on the wrong thing? Because at the end of the day, yes, you do have the power, Donald Trump. But niggas like me that are journalists that want to fucking give the people the information that we're supposed to give them, the most transparent information. Trump has been a threat to journalism. He has been a direct threat to real information that the public is supposed to be privy to.
It's a threat to democracy.
Threat to
Flat out.
democracy. What are y'all gonna do? Because at the end of the day, all we're doing right now, and all I'm doing is documenting all the sin this man has done, all the history that he's trying to erase, all the wrong that he's done. He don't have to ask nobody for nothing. This man is trying to be king of America or whatever. But guess what? I'm writing down every single submission. You had a mayor of New York call you out and say, do something about this situation. We've had so many kids, and we're talking about over the Israel and Palestine conflict over how much? 80 years, 80 years of this, right? 80 years of this. So everybody wants to talk about October 7th and what happened there, But let's talk about prior to that as well. How many people have been killed over this? What are y'all gonna do about it?
And even that 70,000 is a number that's from Israel. That's Israel telling us how many people they've killed. So we can just imagine
Probably
how
more.
drastically low that number is. And even if we're looking at that 70,000, it's also estimated that roughly 20,000 of those have been children. So this is just disgusting beyond human repair. And the fact that we remain so buddy buddy and cuddled up with Netanyahu and Israel just shows the morality of the American government. But I'm gonna tell you what's gonna happen, not a goddamn thing. Like, like, what do you mean? The day that Trump goes and arrests Netanyahu is the day that he didn't have no other option.
Do you not feel like this is a resurgence or energy directed to you politically, Xavier? We can get into it. This is the weekly debrief, and we will start talking about our political views and things of that nature. I'm an independent. I believe you're an independent too, right, Xavier?
Oh,
Dom,
yes, I
I
am.
think you more lean Democrat. You're more like our friend Cabria. Shout out to Cabria, Black Ambition Media native. That the Democratic Party and y'all just y'all believe it. Anyway,
No, no,
I
no,
don't
no, no,
go ahead.
no, 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 no. You're not gonna
Y'all
say that and get
believe it.
away with it. You're not gonna say
I
that and get away with
believe.
it. I believe in
That's
the
y'all Santa Claus. You
I
just gotta
believe
believe.
in the capability of the Democratic Party.
Okay.
Not to say that we don't. We need an overdrive. There are a lot of things that they do that I absolutely do not agree with. Like when Mamdani was running for mayor of New York, Cory Booker, who we laud as the next speaker of the White House, or we did at one point. He did the filibuster on the floor for I think it was close to 20
The
hours or
longest.
however long it was. Yeah, he
The
did
longest filibuster.
They slow dragged their feet on endorsing Mamdani, and he didn't complain it wasn't a thing, but like they really took their time on slow dragging their feet simply because Mamdani was a self-proclaimed socialist.
And
There
tell me what
are
the
some-
Democrats did. Tell me what the Democrats did during the Kamala Harris, based on her book. I got the book downstairs right now. Tell me what the Democrats did with the Kamala Harris campaign. Too.
Well, they did the same thing. They did the same thing on dragging their feet with endorsing her, and in turn,
Over here pussyfooting, like, get to work.
in turn, we got that's the thing. We have so much infighting. There's no real unification on behind what we actually need to do, and it seems like that's why we never get anything done. So there are I'm with my Democrat Party because I'm not with the fucking GOP. But if we're gonna really push in a new direction the way we need to, and really order to combat this MAGA party, because the Republican Party is gone. That's gone. If we're gonna we have to come out of the ashes with something new, because
yes, and this is it. I feel like
yeah,
this is
we
it.
need
So,
a serious
Xavier,
driver.
Tell me, you don't feel encouraged by hearing somebody in a political position talk like this? Because we didn't have that. That was my really question directed towards you. We are more radical in our ideology in how we see the world. Are you not energized with what you heard from him?
I'm definitely energized by having not only a socialist, self-proclaimed socialist, being a mayor of one of these American states, but I'm just energized by the verbiage that he uses, the fervor in which he talks about his disgust for Israel. That is not something you typically see from an American politician. That's not something you would have saw from a politician a year or 2 years ago. That's not something you would hear from politicians before October 7th. It was almost mandatory that you got on your knees and profess your love for Israel and wanting them to be able to protect themselves. We saw it from Obama. We saw it from the beloved Bernie Sanders. It has no end, the amount of people it has infected, in a sense. And I'm just glad that one of us was able to make it into office. And hopefully other politicians are able to see that, hey, someone with some power said something that went against the regime, and look, they didn't die.
It's really
They still
what the
have
people
their
are
job. They
saying.
still have their following. And matter of fact, they have a bigger following now.
Yeah.
They gain much more support. Maybe now people will see that the popular thing at the moment is to be anti-war, anti-Netanyahu in a sense. I want to say anti-Israel, but there's a lot of people who conflate anti-Israel rhetoric from, hey, I'm not for a genocide, versus anti-Israel rhetoric meaning I don't like Jewish people at all.
Mm-hmm.
So we got to make that distinction, because like I think we all, I don't know if we all had a chance to watch some of that FD signifier video, but in there he touches on Candace Owens in a way that relates to kind of the relationship that we have with Netanyahu as like a regular civilian.
Right.
Not all skin folk are kinfolk.
Info.
Not everybody that you hear online saying, oh yeah, we need to arrest Netanyahu. Yeah, we need to, Israel shouldn't exist. Half of those people are just racist, like dead ass. Like
Yeah.
half of those people just don't like Jewish people. The other half are like legit, no, there is a genocide going on. But we do need to recognize that we are in the same rooms as people with different intentions after the fact.
Yep.
So I do just want to make that statement. I don't need not one of y'all trying to conflate me in the comments down below.
I would like to
Free Palestine forever.
before
on
we
me.
move on, when I digress a little bit, when Donald Trump posted that video of Michelle Obama and Barack as monkeys, Hakeem Jeffries came out and he said fuck Donald Trump. So I did appreciate that.
In the words of the women out here, period. Let's move on. We still got a couple more topics. Well, we got a lot more topics. So let's move on. I'm gonna go to myself and my topics, and we're gonna start with Jay-Z. So Jay-Z Target deal sparks debate on Black billionaire responsibility. This is a article from the Hype magazine, and the author's name is Hazy Taught Me. That's her Twitter handle. So let me read a couple lines on this. Few artists have done more to redefine what success looks like in hip hop. More than Jay-Z. From selling records to building businesses, he became the blueprint for a generation that viewed ownership as the ultimate form of empowerment. That is why a recent Target exclusive vinyl release has sparked a conversation that goes far beyond music. The retailer is offering a 30th anniversary edition of Reasonable Doubt, Jay-Z's landmark debut album, as a Target exclusive vinyl release. For longtime fans and collectors, it should have been a straightforward celebration of one of hip-hop's most important bodies of work. Instead, the announcement arrived during an ongoing debate about Target, corporate diversity commitments, Black consumer power, and the complicated expectations placed on Black billionaires. And I did want to read this part of it. Target is not really the story. Target is the symbol. The reaction reflects broader frustration surrounding corporate America, diversity commitments, economic inequality, and public trust. And I would also say, who has our best interests in mind as the working people is an important part of this as well. What do you guys think about, and I already said this, Xavier, me and you talked about the 3-day weekend Jay-Z had with concerts, and I left that conversation saying, I don't know how you argue that he's not the greatest rapper of all time. So I'm not talking about greatest rapper shit. And I want people in the internet to understand that, and Jay-Z, if you were to ever see this clip in his life and ever see me talking about it,
Hi, Beyonce.
You was my ringtone in elementary school.
See, you are the greatest rapper to ever rap. Number one. There's also a different responsibility I feel like that you hold as a black billionaire when it comes to our people in the working class and what we're fighting for with that, because you did come from that. Yes, the Jay-Z, without being the greatest rapper of all time, has done very charitable things. And this is why I won't just say it's fuck you and all this stuff, because I've heard about the very charitable things that Jay-Z has done for the black community. You could have given the black community millions. My nigga, you're still a billionaire. So all I ask from you with your $1 billion, because yes, this is a capitalistic society and you made the best of it, and I'm not going to blame you as a black man. There's a whole bunch of white people that we can blame before you. Dom, just mute yourself for now, if not. So yes, you are that entity that you are, Jay-Z. But let me tell you something else. As a black billionaire, we could shake shit up. If all you did was agree with the people about the shit that we're doing. And right now there's a Target boycott going on. Regardless of all the other stuff, I know you're charitable and everything. But we could shake shit up and make more impact as a people if we are together with our black elites. Why I'm still not messing with Snoop Dogg right now to this day. Because you went and performed for Trump, doubled down on it, and didn't apologize to our community as Onk, as Onk, and as somebody that we look up to. That's what she did. Coonery.
At its finest.
In my estimation. So what I'm saying about the black elite and the people that we look up and herald and have put in those positions based on the support that we have had for them for years, please, just stand with us when we're doing certain things like this, because we can only attack one giant at a time. So then your explanation can't be, oh, y'all not talking about this entity like that. Y'all not talking about that entity like that. We're the people. We don't got $1 billion. We have a lot of money between us, yes, but individually we don't have that much money. So please just stand with us, because we're trying to do something here and you're impeding the progress of that. That does not mean you're not the greatest rapper of all time. That doesn't mean I'm going to throw you away, because you do seem like you do have the black community's best interest at heart. But to what point do you have that black community's best interest at heart? What do you guys think about the Jay-Z controversy going on right now?
Well, I want to ask, first of all, so I know that for some reason, we often look to like rich people or celebrities to be a leader in our movements or a figurehead for our movements. But like, I want to be fair, because how many times have y'all been to Target since this supposed strike has been going on? Not to say that y'all have, but I know some people, some colored folk that have been to Target amidst this strike, and I don't know if people realize that it's still going on or what's happening. But I know oftentimes we put, and not to say that they shouldn't be involved. But I know we put a crown or a title on how we feel like our celebrities should move all the time. And I can tell you right now, I have no idea what it's like to be a billionaire. I'm pretty sure that even if I became a billionaire and you two still knew me, I would make moves that you two wouldn't agree with, simply because I'm a billionaire. So I'm not saying that absolves Jay-Z of any of his wrongdoing or what he should be doing, but I'm just saying I'm not so constrained on how they should move, as long as he remains not, and I'm trying to cover every market, but I'm not saying like you can be counterproductive one day and then be conducive to the movement the next. I'm just saying that I'm not so constrained on how they should be moving, because again, I don't know what it's like to be a billionaire, and I don't know how you would navigate those rooms to have a voice. I'm pretty sure Jay-Z is powerful, but he is not the most powerful. There's always somebody always has a boss. So maybe he has to play the game in order to try to rig the game. I don't know. But I definitely think I don't know. I don't know if more force could be shown from him. Because Jay-Z, honestly, in my opinion, he seems like somebody that moves behind the scenes, that does all of his if he's gonna make any major heavy making moves, it's gonna be behind the scenes. So I wouldn't know for sure.
Well, I have a problem with it. I don't think my biggest problem with it is not even only with Jay-Z. It is for all of them, money hungries. I don't think billionaires should exist. I especially don't think billionaires should exist in the same realm as uh, homeless people. I don't think billionaires should exist in the same realm as schools being bombed. I don't think a billionaire or the top 1% should have more money combined than the lower and middle class. That doesn't make sense to me. I think a lot of people have a hard time critiquing billionaires because we all hope and strive one day to be in that situation. And we say, well, if I was in that situation, I would do this right thing. So if I'm not doing that right thing, there must be some type of ulterior motive that person has, and they're doing the other. To me, fuck all that. I don't want to hear it. I really don't want to hear that shit, because we have to follow the trail. Follow the trail. Jay-Z has done this with cryptocurrency. We've seen this with his investment in the Nets. He very rarely, in the big scheme of thing, has the best interest of the Black community at heart. Not even to be that guy, I wouldn't even say the inception of Jay-Z's career was with the Black people's interest at heart. Just because
Come on,
y'all grew up
Xavier.
wearing Rockaware,
Come
I don't want to
on.
hear it.
I thought you were
I
talking
don't
about
want to
him.
hear it.
I thought you were
I'm
talking about.
talking about drugs.
I thought you were.
I'm talking about drugs.
That's what I thought you were talking about. I thought you were talking about that.
I'm talking about
Come on,
drugs.
man. That's a low blow. Come on, man. He had to sell drugs.
No. Hey,
to get himself out the position that he was. We do not blame other Black people for doing that thing.
Well,
And we want white people to have some type of hold on.
Hey,
We hold on.
I understand.
We want white people to have some type of critical thinking when it comes to people that don't have any other option than to do that. So let's throw him a little bell, is what I would say, about the initial start of his career, because he had to do what he had to do to survive.
So when
well,
do
for that,
you
I mean,
run
I
out
think
of
he was
bail?
I think he was just doing it because
I feel like Marcy was a long time ago.
It was. He's 57 years old now.
Yeah, he got a whole child playing piano on stage while he's performing. And I just honestly, I feel like this just goes to show the power of the Black buying power. The Black dollar is massive. We saw the hit that Target took, whether the full Black community was participating in the boycott or not, whether Black people still shop at what rate they shop at Target. We still saw the power that our Black dollars had, and we saw Starbucks and we saw Target pay for that. And I do believe they are still recovering from that, regardless of how many of us trickle back in. I'm not going to sit here and act like I went cold turkey, cut out Target from my life. And I grew up going to Target. Target will always be in me. Walmart, Target will always be in me, unfortunately. I don't go there every day. There are certain things that I haven't been able to find outside of a Target. So there will be one thing that I'll go to a Target for every so often. But I don't shop at a Target the way that I was shopping at a Target pre this boycott, because I do want to, in my way, try to help aid this boycott. Everybody, there's always a boycott for something. And we have to just find the areas in which we can help best attribute to the cause. I don't understand why people act like there isn't another store that you can go to. And I know they're going to say, well, you're still Amazon, you're doing this. You're still the same people, you're doing this. Yeah, but we need to see some type of line of solidarity with the community. And we have seen that hard line of solidarity with the Starbucks and the Target boycotts. What I see now, I feel like is Jay-Z being a plant from Target to try to help make it seem cool again to shop at Target by getting an exclusive that you can only get at a Target. So now they're going to be funneling in more black dollars to go to Target. More videos are going to be circulating around online about shopping at Target again. And now we are going to have even more black people who are like, okay, well, it must be good to go shop at Target again. Jay-Z, he's married to Beyonce. They did The Lion King. They're telling us that I can go back to Target again. And I feel like that is why we need to hold the fire to these billionaires more than we do, because they have a lot more power, a lot more pull over the general public than we care to realize.
I
I
totally
I
I
don't really
totally
think
agree.
that's
Hold on.
fair.
I totally agree with Xavier with what he said, but I do want to mention this. And Dom, you had mentioned this earlier in what you were saying, and Xavier just kind of refuted what you were talking about. There have been multiple boycotts throughout the times where not everybody participated, where maybe very, very small percentages of people, especially in the Black community, have participated in the specific boycotts, but you've seen the impact of said boycotts during times. So even though maybe not everybody participated in this Target boycott, we had still seen the impact, like Xavier had mentioned, the impact of the black dollar and what happens when you really mess over black people. So that's one point that I wanted to make. Second point, I agree with everything Xavier said. Like, as a billionaire, we just have to hold them more accountable. And that's why I said I don't want to throw him completely away, but you have to, at bare minimum, to shake shit up. Like, that's what we want to do as the working class. Where you came from, Jay-Z, and you were put in a situation where you had to do X, Y, and Z to make it. At the end of the day, you have the power. Just stand with us. That's it. Like, we're shaking shit up out here. Just stand with us. Don't dismiss us when it comes to things like this. And there have been times throughout history, based on how much money he has, where I have to say this. That doesn't negate any of the work that he has done. That doesn't negate a lot of the people that say behind the scenes Jay-Z is very charitable and he does this, and how Tyler Perry just paid for Nolan Wells' independent autopsy. Like, yes, those things are important, but y'all could do more. Stand with us, we could shake shit up even more.
You telling me
And
he
that's
couldn't have did
all
a
I'm
pop-up
saying.
shop? Did a little pop-up shop in certain cities, and half of the proceeds go to something black. I don't know. I don't understand. This could have been another Kendrick Lamar and Cash App situation. This could have been a way for him to showcase that solidarity that he has with the black community outside of his hair experience. And I feel like this was a lost opportunity, but I feel like it is also a gained opportunity for us. I think we should boycott this album.
Oh, whoa,
So wait. Before
I
before
know
we go,
we always tend to hold our own people to a higher standard, and I stand on that. I think we should hold ourselves to a higher standard. And I feel like Jay-Z aligning himself with Target, unaligning himself with the solidarity of the black community and the Target boycott, I feel like we should be boycotting at least that purchase of that physical copy of that album, just to show him that we don't agree with that. When these people don't, I loved your whole statement that you said before it came in, but I don't think that made Jay-Z shed a tear. I don't think that made Jay-Z change his perspective. These people understand money. These people understand dollars. You didn't think Target gave a fuck about anything black people had to say before they saw their sales and equity start to deplete?
Probably
No, they
not.
didn't. They still don't care. But if Jay-Z is able to see, hold on,
Yeah, they didn't learn their
I didn't make a
lesson.
good enough return.
That's our point. They did not fucking learn their lesson hard
No.
enough for you to go over there and start talking to them. Stop talking to them
No.
right now. As working class people, stop talking to them. We're fucking learning them right now. So at the end of the day, respectfully, shut the fuck up and let us do what we need to do because we're the people. We have the power. So allow us to do that. And we're shaking shit up and then you go do that. It's very frustrating. I understand that.
So yeah, I say boycott the physical purchase
Of
you
that
said
Target
32,
exclusive,
30, yeah.
It's a Target exclusive 30-year anniversary vinyl. I agree with that.
Boycott that shit.
So I don't think it's fair. If Jay-Z's gonna, first of all, did we have the same kind of blowback on Jay-Z when he partnered with the NFL? He did have some blowback, but
there was
the
some
same,
blowback.
was the same amount? Okay,
it was the same amount. Niggas still went. Hold on, Dom.
No, sir.
Hold on.
Let me finish because y'all just talked for like 10 minutes straight. I did not see the same amount of blowback. I saw some blowback, but not nearly the same amount of blowback for Jay-Z when he partnered with the NFL. I'm just being honest. And because men like football, that's what it was. There was not nearly as much as blowback. Jay-Z did partner with Target, and we may feel burned by that a little bit. But as you said, Xavier, they only understand money. So if you're going to affect these artists, I don't think it's fair to cast aspersions on them. If you don't want to support them, just don't buy the album. We have to stop looking at them. For one, when are we going to stop getting burned by celebrities, political leaders? When are we going to stop getting burned, getting our feelings hurt by these people who we feel like should be real leaders in the community? They're not ever going to be, because like you both said, they both understand money. So I mean, that's the only way they're going to affect it. And then I don't think it's fair to black people to be like, oh, Jay-Z said it's okay to shop at Target. We're going to go shop at Target. No, I mean, some people may be like that, yes. But for the most part, if you were already boycotting Target, you're not going to go back just because Jay-Z went there, unless you're like some kind of super fan. I really don't think that's fair to be like, black people are just going to follow that. If we're supposed to be standing on something as serious as boycotting Target for the shit that they do, racist shit that they do, then stand on that. Don't flip because Jay-Z said so, or because some celebrity or political head or whoever is. Influences don't work the same way they used to, even with influencers. And I'm not talking about just celebrities. So I mean, there's just so many things that play into that, but I don't think it's as simple as saying that, like, look at these people and then punish them because they aren't doing what we feel they should do. If you, first of all, stop looking at them as leaders and look at them as artists, and that way you'll be able to enjoy the music. If you're looking at them as leaders and artists, then you have to separate the regards. You can't look at them in the same way, or it's just not gonna.
But Dom,
it's not gonna ever work. You're not gonna ever be pleased by anything they do.
I don't think, and we're gonna go to the next topic soon, but I want you to understand my position, and I think you were explaining flawlessly, like as you did, Xavier's position on the topic. My position is I'm not throwing him away.
Right.
But as a billionaire, Tyler Perry, Jay-Z, and other black billionaires that there are, we could shake shit up more.
We absolutely could.
If you didn't do shit like this. At the end of the day, yes, we shouldn't look like this. And yes, I do agree with Xavier. We should boycott that exclusive vinyl that Jay-Z decided to put in Target to prove a point. All I'm saying is we have to have some type of dialogue with the people that are millionaires and billionaires in our culture, saying, hey, if you honestly just shut the fuck up and get out the way, maybe we could make an impact more. Maybe if you just said, I agree with you guys on this certain topic, we could move the playing field more. Yes, as black people, we always have moved the playing field. This is a different era in 2026. Can we get the billionaire on our side? Can we get the millionaire on our side? And history has told us no. I'm just asking for a difference in freaking history. Can you freaking have no ego and come to us and say, hey, maybe I did do wrong in X, Y, and Z. I do think there was pushback when he took that Super Bowl job. There was a lot of pushback. I even remember a lot of the dialogue because Jay-Z said the kneeling thing is over, or we're done with kneeling, or something along those lines that he quoted. That's a very popular quote. A lot of people did not like that. There was a lot of backlash with that decision for Jay-Z to go to the NFL. So yes, there has been backlash from him before, and that's the pushback that I give him. That's the pushback that I give him. That is another example of something that happened that maybe the whole culture wasn't cool with, and you went and did something else. Like it as the powerful entity that you are, because you earned that, please just side with us. That's all I'm asking. I'm just proposing a question to you niggas to please work with us. That's it.
That's like
Right,
you
and-
asking for it to not be hot tomorrow in the summer. You know, it's
Like
just not
I shouldn't have to look at these artists as leaders of the black community. Yes, Malcolm X told us that in 1964 or whatever. He told us that. But
and I
nigga,
don't, because what is Jay-Z leading me to do? What?
right.
See,
Buy some crypto?
But he has
Jay-Z ain't leading
shown
me to do a
Jay-Z
damn
went
thing.
to Target and baby, I
shown
know you want to go there right now.
he has
Nah.
shown in lyrics and other things that he wants the best for the black community. So if you do, like, let's do it, bro. That's
He
all
said-
I'm
he said-
saying.
said those
What does that really
words.
mean, though? Those are words, right? Go listen to a Killer Mike song and then go watch Killer Mike interact with the police. That's two completely different people, bro. Killer Mike is a radical socialist on paper. Then you see him tell us to stop rioting in the streets. That ain't the same dude.
Killer Mike has made some mistakes. I'm not throwing out the baby with the bathwater.
I don't care about these billionaires.
I'm
I
asking you
don't
to push
think
the
we
water
will
under
ever
the
be
baby under the
friends.
water.
We don't have similar interests. We don't like the same food. I think we need to treat them like the tools that they are. Use them for our own gain, because they
Entertainment.
will continue to use us for their own gain. Might as well
Amen.
make it equal exchange.
Amen. Let's move on. We've been on this a while, so I want to go to my last topic, which was Ryan Clark being let go from ESPN. Ryan Clark, if you didn't know, I know Dom is not the biggest sports fan, but I think this conversation is really important as far as the landscape of what sports media and media in general is. Ryan Clark, I feel like, which is one of the best people when it comes to the NFL and talking about the NFL. He also has said some other things. He had a lot to say when the Carmelo Anthony case came out. Like, he's been radical in his ideals and ideology. You now see that Pat McAfee is reported to get like $60 million a year. Stephen A., who, like, I look up to Stephen A. as a sports anchor and somebody in the business, but has said some very conservative-esque things, especially over the past year, which is kind of like, what? Like, what are y'all viewpoints? I think this Ryan Clark exit is more of a, what's going on with ESPN? Are you guys making a change to be more on that level playing field than somebody who has controversy and stands with the other side? Like, I'm glad that Stephen A. came out and said what he said about Ryan Clark, like defending him, saying that he didn't want ESPN to fire him, but he's not in a position to really say anything about it. I just think we're in a different landscape in media in general. ESPN has been laying off people since 2013, like notable people that you wouldn't expect. But if you're gonna pay Pat McAfee what you're paying Pat McAfee, you're paying Stephen A. what you're paying Stephen A. and you ain't got nobody else, I don't know. Questions, man. Questions. I don't know what direction ESPN is going in my estimation. Like, you're gonna take the only nigga that has something to say about some important stuff like away. I it's not computing, bro.
I mean, it is really interesting. I also heard that Cam Newton was fired, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes.
So, I mean, I did really enjoy Ryan Clark. Every time I really did see an interview from him, I left with little to no notes. Great representation as far as athletes go as well. Showing the broader range of the league. But I hope to see him use this as an opportunity to maybe continue some self-funded ventures. I know people. I think what's his name? Acho. Acho. Then
Acho,
he's
yeah.
don't he
And
got his own
Ryan
little
Clark does
thing?
have the Pivot, which is his own separate entity from ESPN. So he does have that. But they do like guest interviews and stuff. They got some really notable people throughout the time, but maybe he can do something else by himself as well.
Man, but honestly, I think that kind of just might even be a glimpse into where we are with just broadcast television and of things of that like. They may be really downsizing to the point where they only have a specialist for basketball, a specialist for football, and we'll bring in some filler people to kind of like help broaden the segment every now and again. But definitely kind of interested to see um the direction or how white ESPN continues to get.
How White and Stephen A.
Right.
It's definitely interesting how YouTube and shows like this have taken over versus that regular anchor show. Like, you probably don't watch any cable. I watch very little cable
Oh
or
yeah.
shows on cable. Like, you don't watch cable. There's very little cable that's going on in my house. We're 28. You're about to be 28, and it's like a changing of the guard as well, just in broadcasting. Streaming is, of course, streaming, but it's very interesting to see. Cam Newton said he got his practice reps in at ESPN, but I like you said, how white are they gonna get? What are they doing? How are they revamping? Because they're not getting anybody. But I mean, they took inside the NBA on with Kenny, Charles, and Shaq, so with Ernie. So maybe they're saying like they're adding stuff so they can subtract people, but like Ryan Clark, like I said, is one of the best people in football to broadcast. So very, very interesting. But we are going to get out of here. This is the weekly debrief. My name is Cayman. That's Xavier. Dom has left. Man, gotta go to work. But we will be back next week with some topics. Thank you guys for joining us. Make sure to like and subscribe. Let us know what you guys liked and didn't like. All right. Peace.